Welcome to episode 139 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. This episode, we're realizing how small our room is.
I was just about to say, we are packed out tonight.
Our guests are in studio, so it's there's 5 of us in here, and some of us are not small people. Just
oh my god, that hurt.
A couple of us are not small people, but it's nice to be back, and like I've got both of y'all here.
Yay!
2 weeks, two shows in a row.
I know. Last week we were off. We aired our Conroe, so now Dax can leave me alone.
I won't be here next Tuesday.
So that was Jules. You won't be here next Tuesday?
No, I have a Girl Scout meeting.
Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have to find some other co-host, I guess.
Yeah, we can make that happen. You want to go there?
Nope. Oh, but no. Last week we had our episode out from the Conroe interviews, which was great. That was the one that had Debbie on it, which was a great interview. I loved talking to Debbie. And then we had Jules on talk about Jules's noodles, which I still may not have any more kids on anymore. But so yeah, excited to be back this weekend. This weekend we have a show in Lafayette. I say that we have a show in Lafayette, but really we have a football game in Lafayette.
Yeah, we do.
We'll just be at the show.
God, I need it to.
You guys have a show in Lafayette. Rachel will be there. I will be in Fort Worth at another show.
Yes,
along with
our guest. Our guests tonight are Joe and Brittany of ReptiCulture, who we have an interview with them from the Bryan College Station show, which hasn't gone out yet because I had to get Dax's episode out, so he would leave me alone. I'm just kidding, Dax. I got the Conroe episode out, and then I was going to do the Bryan College Station interviews, but now y'all are here, so it feels kind of weird to.
Hey,
now I'm still going to put the interview out.
If I can't get the Astros game to stream, I'm going home. I'm sorry.
Just know that it's recording downstairs. You're good.
I don't care. I can't watch sports recorded like you do.
It's baseball. They'll still be playing baseball in 5 hours.
I don't care.
There'll still be guys there with a bat and a ball in 5 hours, and one of them is 2 foot tall.
I mean, this is the fourth time they've been in the World Series in 6 years, but 5 years, but
yes,
6 years. But I don't care. I want to go watch.
We'll get it streaming.
I'm trying. It's just thinking.
So I don't know who Facebook user is.
That's Dax.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. I got a pretty good feeling that's Dax.
Well, if it is, fuck off, Dax. Anyways. Oh, no, it's Bergoli.
Oh, it's Bergoli. Oh, okay.
I guess is what it says.
Well, it says James.
And since it's not me, it's got to be that James.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about how many they won.
No, they won 1. Hey, they lost 2 fair and square. It happens.
The Braves won 1. Go Braves.
Oh, Lord.
Although we suck this year.
Apparently the Phillies fans are already booing during the announcements.
Can they get the national anthem right there at least?
That
was painful. I went back to watch that, found it online.
Bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got Friday night. Friday night.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
And people were like, he was nervous. I don't give a shit. It's his job to go out there and professionally sing the national anthem.
If you are singing the national anthem at a ball
Get
game.
the words right. Fucking Roseanne Barr got the words right. She sounded horrible, but she got the words right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so what do we have going on? We have a show coming up. What do you want to do our sponsors? Go ahead, Katie.
If you are looking for a high quality PVC rack, look no further than Lone Star Reptile Racks. They offer a variety of sizes for all types of snakes, geckos, rats, and more. You can even order something custom. Shipping is available, or you can plan to pick up at a Herbst Reptile show near you. Visit lsreptileracks.com to reach out to Lone Star Reptile Racks and place your order today. I was ready.
And snake hides.
I was ready. Normally, I'm like scrounging to find my note in my phone.
And snake hides.
Mm-hmm.
So
and really cool signs.
And cool signs. So Daphne Ann says, hi, ReptiCulture. We're all watching. I don't know who all is, but that seems like a threat.
This whole family. That's what I'm about.
You'll have to lean into the microphone.
Twist it towards them. You're a horrible host. I at least cook dinner for them. Come on now.
Yeah, I talk pretty loud.
Chris Eaton's already messaged me because they look like 2 little people sitting over there. Where they're both sitting back.
Oh, they do have the little chairs.
Sorry, guys.
Make me sit up now.
No, they're not really small.
We're not that big. Thank you so much.
It's a combination of both.
Some of us are fucking huge, but they are not that small. It's forced perspective. I need to look important, so I made them sit in small chairs.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
What is it in that one movie? He said he has a perspective manipulator on his staff. It's somebody that's slightly shorter, stand next to him at events to make him look taller.
What was who's the baseball player? Everybody got pissed off at the baseball player because he was standing on a bucket to do the interview with the chick who was way tall. See that picture floating around?
Yeah. Was it Altuve?
No, not two.
No.
For once, it wasn't. There's someone else that was
Right.
short. No, Altuve, I think, has accepted that he's only 2 foot tall.
Yes.
Bless him.
And he'll be a Hall of Famer probably as a 2 foot tall.
He'll be the size of whatever bust or whatever they do. I don't know what they do in the baseball Hall of Fame
Mhm.
and a football Hall of Fame. But so anyways, I had a thought. It disappeared. Went away.
It was gone.
Sponsors.
Oh,
The Herps sponsor?
I got it right here. I got the Herp shows pulled up. This weekend we were in Lafayette, Louisiana, November 5th and 6th. And then all of us are super excited about November 12th and 13th
Yes.
because it is a home show for all of us
Yes.
at the Pearland show.
In fact,
Chris.
you guys are probably closer to it than any of us. Your shop is
Yep.
because it's on that end of
Mhm.
Pearland.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
We're
like
excited
10
to
minutes
get
from your
to
shop,
it.
10 or
Yeah.
15. It's about 20 from here. That's just because of all the stoplights.
I think I'm taking that day out, that Friday off.
They just
I already
released.
have a sub
They just released the
the whole day.
like preliminary info from the last census, and apparently it's like 190,000 people.
That's exciting. I've been telling everybody
Whew.
about it for months. So
Crazy.
hopefully we'll see
Yeah.
a good turnout. For that.
Next week will be a fun week because I'm chaperoning a junior high field trip on Wednesday, and then I'm taking off Friday for the reptile show.
Nice.
Nice
It's going to
and
be
easy week.
great.
I could have put that mic on the side of the table and have been closer. Oh well, they'll deal with it. Now that I think about
I
it,
guess I'll have to get closer to her.
just like
You can have it.
put your mouth all up on the microphone. I'm telling you, make love to the microphone. So the Pearland show is November 12th, 13th. We're super excited because none of us have to get a hotel for that one,
Or drive far.
or we can wake up from our bed and go straight to it. It's great. Austin, Texas is December 3rd and 4th. I'm assuming y'all will be in Austin, Texas. I assumed wrong.
I don't know.
Robert, you'll be in Austin, Texas.
I did great at that show. Y'all have not done well at that show, right?
We
We've
hit or
done
miss.
one or two that was all right, and then one that was it? I don't remember though. if
Y'all
we-
did the very first one at the new venue.
Yes.
That's a
yeah.
good little getting used
I
to.
don't think we're
but-
going to Austin.
I'll have to look. I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I like the show. It's a great. The crowd spends money and it's a good crowd. That venue is, it's a
Just
little.
so back off the
it-
road.
It's a little difficult for load in and load out when you have big stuff like
Oh,
what
yeah.
I have. But other than that, it's
Big parking lot.
last time we had the problems with the bathrooms, they had to shut the bathrooms down because of the
That's
water and
that's the one that has the
Um,
weird ass like
like extra room,
giant room in the bathroom.
that's bigger than the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could tell maybe that was supposed to be like showers or something, and they just never
They
did
just
it.
didn't- Yeah, it's just a
But,
hangout room. Put a couch in there.
But yeah, it's always a good crowd out there at that Austin show.
And then the last show of the year is the Slidell show, December 10th and 11th, which is always usually a pretty good show too. And everybody get their Christmas presents. Then they start the new year off January 14th and 15th at Oklahoma City. Then Longview, January 21st, 22nd. Then my birthday weekend, Conroe, January 20th, 29th. And then down to Corpus Christi, February 5th and 26th.
Try again.
February 25th. And what did I say?
You said 5th and 26th.
It's a long show. Goes from the 5th to the 26th.
No, sir.
It's a month-long reptile
Oh
show.
my gosh.
So everybody
I
enjoy
don't know
that.
if I'll be at that one.
It's a little long.
I've never done well at Corpus.
Corpus? I don't know. It's,
That was
it's
our
hit or
first
miss.
time.
We had a customer from that one who wasn't really our customer, but was our customer. So do you remember the show where the Grants couldn't come, but we sold the Grants stuff for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we sold the snake to the woman who was like afraid of snakes,
Mm-hmm.
her and her husband, and their little kid.
I remember.
And then they came back the next time around and they had like bought a second snake. So they messaged us and asked the next time we were going to be there because they wanted to get another snake. So now I got to try and figure out how to sell them a snake when I don't have any snakes. But I'll figure it out.
They were so sweet.
They were awesome. That was one of those situations where someone came in afraid of snakes and then they left with a snake and now they fucking love it. And
It made me feel so good though, because I don't know why I was there at the table. I think maybe because Joe and Logan pretty much ran that table that weekend. I
That's
think
right.
maybe they were eating lunch or something. So I had stepped in, or they had
I think it was our
taken the
first corporate show
dog
that we
out,
did.
or maybe. Anyways, but yeah, it was fabulous when they came back and they were like, "You're the reason we changed our mind."
That's awesome.
Oh, made me feel good.
did you get the game to load over there yet?
No,
It's always nice whenever people.
I'm working on it though. I'm trying something
Like,
else.
come
I
to
can't get
you.
Xfinity to work.
I could probably log into my direct
Yeah.
TV on there. Katie could log into her
Oh,
direct TV on there and
yeah.
pull it up.
Yeah, I have DirecTV up. It's working great.
On my phone, I can
Nope.
She can go to
I'll
directtv.com
give you the login.
and we won't say it on the air. But
All of a sudden, my account's logged in.
everywhere. Oh, look, somebody loved our Debbie interview. That show was the Conroe show was where I had to convince so many people. We had to convince Debbie to come on, which was great. We convinced Jack to come on. We convinced what are you trying?
You do you.
Yeah, just
You do you. I got this.
Okay. You sure? Anyways, I was glad everybody got to hear Debbie because I don't know the last time Debbie, if she's ever done a podcast, but everybody got to hear her because we talk about her a million times. So if anybody needs to ship
Debbie.
reptiles, go to Reptiles to You. Ship your reptiles.
You got a shout out, Brittany. You're
did.
famous.
But
Hi, Hayden.
Hayden works at the coffee shop next door to us.
uh,
Shout out to Hide Your House.
so let's go ahead and talk about ReptiCulture, even though I've already interviewed you once about it, and it's still going to get aired at some point, so people can just hear a double dose of you. But so where's your shop located?
So we are located in Friendswood, Texas. We're in the same shopping center as Friends Pub and Moreno's, right on 528.
Because you can't be located in the city where you live because of stupid ass rules.
Absolutely. Yep.
y'all are Friends Pub's on the other end of that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
They're trying to get the police chief fired.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure they've been down there with their petition to you guys.
Oh, they got
Miss
signs and
Kay
everything.
has a whole sponsored ad and
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole dummy out front and everything.
Yeah.
She's not a fan of Chief.
Now,
either.
the chief's name is Bob Wieners.
No.
Yeah. He's like
Bobbing for Wiener.
retired
Oh,
Marine Corps
no.
recon commander. Like, he's a badass. Bob's a badass. He's the longest serving police chief in Galveston County, I think now.
Yeah,
wow.
it said something like 20 something
Yeah.
years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when they hired him, he was not the assistant chief. He was the assistant to the chief. And then the chief retired
Okay,
and he
this
became
sounds like
chief.
The Office now. He's
Yes.
assistant to the
He was the
regional
assistant
director.
to the chief, not the assistant chief. It was weird.
assistant regional director. You're assistant to the regional director.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
It said it didn't work.
to put in what?
I did.
Anyways, speaking of The Office, did you any of y'all see the Irwins Halloween costumes? Bendy and
No.
Robert.
No.
So they all did characters from The Office.
Ugh.
They did a Jack. Wow, that was way off. That's Jack Ryan is a completely different show. Jim and Pam, and then Robert Irwin was Dwight,
Nice.
which was, and then the baby wore the world's best boss, like the coffee mug.
That's awesome.
So
Speaking of Steve Irwin, did anybody see Sean Gray's
Yeah.
Halloween costume?
yeah, I don't remember Steve Irwin having such a gray giant
It
mullet.
looked more like the Tiger King.
That's awesome.
We didn't dress up. Rachel and I didn't even get home done. I mean, we didn't get home from doing stuff we had to do yesterday afternoon until like 6:30.
Wow.
We got home and I was like, front porch lights on, turn it off. I was like, because candy's so expensive this year, we giving out high fives.
Mhm.
And like somebody knocked on our door at like 8:30, and I was like, nobody's home. They left.
We turned our porch light off when we got home.
Helps if you put
There we go.
correct stuff.
We turned our porch light off, and we even blocked our sidewalk so you could not. I mean, y'all had to step over the inflatable to get in the door tonight, but it was inflated and everything. Kids were coming around to bang on the door and yelling, and I'm like, I turned the porch light off because we don't have any candy, guys. I'm so sorry. Have a great night.
Our kid won a costume contest the other night.
She won with that.
Yeah,
you-
she came
she-
in first.
she
I
was-
had to have been an adult judging it because no kid knew who that was.
Yeah, no, it was all the adults judging it.
Your dad didn't know who it was either.
No, my dad-
That
which
was
is funny because I
disappointing.
watched Beetlejuice a trillion times as a
Right.
kid. But our daughter dressed up as Lydia from Beetlejuice. She had
Neither
the,
one of her grandfathers.
she had the little
did.
fake camera, and she had the book for the recently deceased. And
She did.
My dad thought she was Wednesday Addams. It was precious.
yeah, well, he's old. But so yeah, I was kind of proud of that one because that's one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Obviously, the Facebook user is Sam.
Next time you hear no.
So how long have y'all been open? Let's get back to this.
So November this month actually will be a year.
A year.
That's
Was
awesome.
it the 14th?
It's like the 8th or the
or the
9th.
8th?
Why is it everyone we know that opened a pet store opened it at the worst fucking time?
I don't know.
Because we're all gluttons for punishment.
I guess so.
I opened a business too during the pandemic.
It's just everybody opened up. I'm like, man, this is the worst time to start a business. But
If you can do it then you can do it anytime.
Yeah.
That's right.
that
There
is
you
true.
go.
So how's business? Has been good?
It has been. It's, we were really trending up. Everything was kind of picking up and revenues were going up. And then we just kind of hit this little lull that, we've all seen. So it's been a little bit lower, but we're hoping to kind of round this year and get into the next year and kind of start seeing revenue go back up. Just tough with everybody's paying high gas prices, extra money for groceries, just leaves less money to spend on reptiles, more people maintaining, taking care of what they have. which is, ideal. We don't want to sell a bunch of reptiles that aren't going to be cared for either. So,
Well, and y'all are in an interesting location because you're south of Houston. There's not really much reptile stuff south of Houston, and then you kind of are in like an area where it's bordered by a bunch of other areas, so you can try and
Smaller
pull.
areas.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
right, yeah, kind of that triangle they call it, Pearland, Alvin, Friendswood.
yeah. So, but I've been in there. It's an awesome store. You got cages from someone I know.
A
Yeah,
couple of them.
We kind of like the LSR racks.
Yeah, well, they're all right, I guess.
Appreciate that.
The owner's kind of a dick, but
Yeah, very much.
so what have y'all
I
found?
had to download a thing and then log out and log back in.
So what have y'all found challenging? Like something that you didn't plan on being challenging, but you're like, oh shit, this has been a learning curve since y'all started a business.
Oh, God, where do I start? I think one of the main things with us was just like realizing when you have a pet shop that's open 7 days a week, just the level of commitment that is,
Y'all don't do the whole like close on Monday thing.
We've been debating on picking a day to close, but it's tough. When you look across the board, we don't have like that one day where we're just sitting there twiddling our thumbs. It's crazy. I mean, sometimes we can have a $2,000 Monday. Sometimes we'll have a $2,000 Tuesday. You just never really know. It's not consistent. So it's hard. Sundays are tough because on the weekends, people are out trying to, take care of those things, get their reptile supplies. But I mean, it's kind of, we've talked about Mondays, but I just hate, and I never remember, whenever a store's closed and you go to that, it's always that day you go like Chick-fil-A on a Sunday,
Yeah, Katie. Yeah,
no,
Katie.
no,
You
no,
never
no.
fucking remember when places are closed. And then you offer your husband to go to one of his favorite places to eat 3 different fucking times.
Where?
You want to tell him, Katie?
Italianos.
Oh, yeah, that closed on Monday.
They're closed on Mondays.
I know.
They're closed on Mondays. You know how I know? Because 3 different times, like, going to go to Italianos. I don't pay attention to what day it is. I'm like, yes. I don't
And y'all
want
drive all the way up there.
It's awesome. Yeah, so my new Chick-fil-A is this little place in Friendswood right by HEB called Cuban Flavor. And they have the best empanadas. And every time I want that place, it's Sunday and they're closed. It drives me crazy. So it's
Yep.
like,
I can't imagine owning a restaurant and being closed on Sunday.
I don't get it either. Yeah.
It's only
I
day
mean, it works
really
for
want
Chick-fil-A,
to.
but
How about opening up a Chick-fil-A inside of an NFL stadium? Which
Yeah.
is what they did in Atlanta. I'm like, the games are on Sunday.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing? Like, they're on Sunday. Just
They cook the food on
just
Saturday.
hire a few people that don't
Yeah.
mind going to hell and let them work on Sunday.
they
They only do the Thursdays and Mondays, I guess.
yeah. I mean, there's one in they have like Chick-fil-A kiosks in Minute Maid Park, but of course Astros play every day of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go to a Sunday game, you can't get any God's chicken.
No God's chicken.
Nope.
You'll go to hell if you eat it on
The
Sunday.
macaroni and cheese. That's where it's at.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, you keep getting. Well, that's weird. How do we always get off topic? That's odd. That never happens.
No clue.
I don't know. I think that's what people like about us.
Because we're real.
We
Mhm.
keep it real.
I don't know that you should ever do
Never
that
gonna
again.
say that again. Say it.
Megan knows about Cuban Flavor. Nice.
Shut up, Megan. Slap on a bitch.
Why?
That's
Hey,
what
I do need to say, because we haven't been on since
since-
World Reptile Day. It was awesome.
It was.
That's
Oh
right.
my
Y'all were at World
gosh.
Reptile Day also.
Ah.
Hey, great job.
My hips were killing me when I got home that night from moving and walking so much.
Yes.
It was a great turnout. Weather was nice.
It was.
I love the venue. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had lots of people there. It was
we
great.
did. I don't know what I can't even begin to guess a count a number of people, but everyone
Seemed happy,
did. Yes.
Yeah, it was a lot
and they made a shit ton feeding tortoises.
Yes.
They had to go get more
More
food,
food,
more
yeah.
food to feed the tortoises.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Drew wasn't there because he was being lazy and decided not to come. But
Yeah,
Becca,
sure.
who worked her butt off
Whatever. He was working a birthday party.
from the learning zoo,
Let's say if there's anything I know about Drew, it's lazy is not does not
Lady's
fit.
not there.
but Becca was there with her best Drew hat on,
She did great.
and they had a ton of tortoises for people to play with. It was great. Megan says she's confident they hit 1,000.
Nice.
That's
Did the food truck sold out? The
I
food trucks
did
were
know the
good.
food truck sold out.
So I was on Wednesday afternoon. I got an email inviting Logan to a youth hunting trip. I couldn't get it to work, so I just pulled up my phone.
that's fine.
A youth hunting trip this weekend in South Texas, 5.5 hours from here. And we get there, and you're standing around with all the parents, kind of introducing each other. And the guy, they say, say your name and where you live. And the guy, like the first guy, was like, "Oh, my name's Jesse, and we live in Iowa Colony." And I'm like, "That's literally right next door to us, man." And another guy's like, "Yeah, my name's so and so. I live in Pearland." And then another lady's like, "Yeah, my name's so and so, and I live in El Campo, but I was born and raised in Pearland."
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, Jesus, like everybody from here. Yeah, because he lives in the part of Iowa Colony that's not in the city limits. and they have like a couple of acres right there. But yeah, they came out there that day. They were at the World Reptile.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
awesome.
Because when he saw my shirt and started talking, he's like, "Were you at that thing last Saturday in Meridiana?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, we came over there for a little while and got some of the donuts and fed the tortoises."
Those donuts
I want some more of those
were
donuts.
stupid
Awesome. Y'all
good.
get any don- y'all
Did
get-
not get to do.
Shh.
Those were good.
Apparently, that
Regret
donut truck is there like once a week.
And then
Good to know.
the barbecue. What was it? The
It's called Rob's Benny Donuts. Guess what the owner's name is?
Rob.
Robert. Yeah.
crazy. like the quesadilla with the mac and cheese and like the barbecue in it.
I did not like it.
You didn't? Oh, I like
it.
it.
left a horrible taste in my mouth. I don't know
Oh, it
what it
left
was.
me wanting more.
It was too much mac and cheese.
That's never been said. You need to shut up now. I've never been like, oh my god, too much mac and cheese.
I mean, I am normally if I'm like puking afterwards.
Yeah, the guy
So
when I walked up to order donuts, he was like, "Hey, I like your name," and I was like,
I remember that. Yeah.
"Oh yeah, okay, yeah." You were standing there.
they were good
Mhm.
donuts. But Rob's Mini Donuts comes up like twice.
Twice a month. Okay.
Nice.
I'd
Hot donuts with flavors.
I got a lemon cream donut and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
I don't remember they were good though.
You had the cinnamon sugar because that's what I
That's
ended
right,
up getting.
because you tasted it, then one got your own.
Yep.
So yes, that was a very good one. We keep getting off. Back to ReptiCulture.
After the short break.
So y'all are a full service reptile shop. Y'all have feeders, animals, supplies.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
What have you found? Because I always ask this, and it usually the same answer. What is your number one money maker in the shop?
I'd say bioactive supplies. For
Oh
sure.
wow,
Really?
Okay.
Really?
I was gonna go with feeders.
feeders is usually what we get from everybody.
I mean, it's probably the most consistent thing we sell is the feeders, but I'd say profitability wise, it would be the bioactive.
That's
Gotcha.
cool.
Yeah, but the feeders definitely keep people coming in. That's your clockwork. That's your constant business. When someone's not coming for a bioactive setup or an animal, kind of keeps that daily traffic for sure.
So let's talk bioactive stuff for a second. Because our question this week, and I know we got posted today, but normally we still get a bunch of answers. And I was kind of surprised, but we've asked some bioactive, and I guess people didn't want to answer. I don't know. But it says, what are the negatives and positives providing a bioactive / naturalistic habitat for your reptile? And explain your answer. And I really, I let off with the negatives because I wanted to hear people actually give negatives for it. I hear all the positives. But we had Ashley Howdy, our friend Ashley Howdy, went ahead and answered. So I'll go ahead and read her answer, and then we'll talk about it. Every setup is nuanced based on your ambient climate, etc. She said the simple positives: looks beautiful, the ability to keep not only a live animal but live plants, and yeah, Katie, that you have to keep plants alive, and live cleanup crew.
Do you have a death wish tonight? Like,
How well you're keeping plants alive?
my pothos on the porch has
That
been
you just
alive.
sit outside and let nature
It's
take care of
Been
it.
alive for over a year. Thank you very much.
So when the next cold snaps comes through,
Shut up.
and you forget it.
Lewis.
She put
Anyways.
it out there. She chose that space.
That's right.
I've picked it up
And it's
multiple times
growing.
because the wind keeps blowing it
The
all over
wind
the
did
place.
blow it all over the place the other day. It was crazy.
Yeah, if you kill you shouldn't be able to kill pothos
I mean, I may or may not have killed English ivy in college.
Yeah.
So
because you still have to water that
I'm
shit.
just saying.
You can't put it up on a shelf. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. You put it up on a shelf and you're like, oh man, it died. when I didn't water it.
Shit. Bryce Harper just hit a 2-run homer.
Okay, so that's why. So apparently Sam is a little bit faster on the play than
I just looked down and saw it.
Oh.
I looked down and saw him giving him high five, and yeah.
So, but she said many opportunities for enrichment, fairly easy to maintain once started. Cleaning is easy. She said more intangible positives are the inherent joy you receive of caring for the entire setup. The time you put into it, it can be rewarding in the way, in ways extending beyond just keeping a captive animal in a box. And the negatives. So this is stuff I'm always interested in. Negatives are initial setup knowledge and cost, which we can talk about that in a minute. Easy to mess up when you are learning. And if you don't have a strong will to succeed, it can be disheartening to have your plants and cleanup crew die. Ventilation is key. We say it all the time, but the box is just a box. You have to work to make it right for your particular animal and climate needs. Not as hands off as a puppy pad and a few sticks, which is a jab at green tree keepers. For large collections, it can be difficult to stop the spread of something. Can't just spray bleach on plants for easy disinfection. That is true. Yeah, I agree with her. So I don't have any bioactive, but I know myself. I'm too lazy to have bioactive. I don't have the drive to fucking keep plants. I'm keeping the snakes alive. I don't have drive to keep plants alive. But there are things I think if I owned certain things, I probably would set them up bioactive. Y'all have a lot of bioactive stuff in your shop. So your cages are all set up bioactive.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. what are like the elevator pitch to give to people when they're like, all right, I'm thinking about bioactive. How do you sell it to them, and what do you tell them? What are the important things you make sure they leave knowing or doing?
So I usually lead with you don't have to clean it. Like you're not cleaning up your reptile poo very frequently. Once you get it going, it's self-sustaining. It can be intimidating. And maybe it's just because I've been setting them up and been going, but I don't find them very difficult. Common sense, I guess. For
Common sense
most
doesn't
things.
exist.
What your dad said.
I'm fixing to kick his ass out of this chat tonight.
Really have
My father-in-law is throwing some fighting words around.
I've kept my daughter alive for 11 years.
I do
good.
a great job parenting.
I don't think he was talking about you. That was 100% towards the son.
Yeah, she's gotten to the point where she can take care of herself now.
She's
It's the reason I don't have a second one.
This is true.
The second one would mean I have to try even harder. Fuck that.
Our oldest kid turns 20 years old tomorrow.
Years old.
That is hard to believe.
Oh
You're an old fuck.
gosh. Sorry.
That means I'm
Back to
old.
bioactive.
I apologize.
Sorry, guys. This is what we do.
No, you're good. But yeah, so I mean, it is intimidating at first. I think most of the learning curve is just understanding the concept, what plants work and thrive in the environment, kind of the do's and the don'ts, learning how to set it up initially, which BioDude has a lot of good videos and is really good about explaining that. And that's kind of how we got started in it. But once you get it set up and you learn what plants thrive, I mean, it's really not hard. I would say it's easier, other than the misting. And that's, it's a little bit easier at my shop. I have Mist King set up that mist the enclosures. But even the misting, it's not something that's going to require even daily most of the time. Every couple of days usually is sufficient, depending on the species. When you get into some of the frogs or some of the higher humidity enclosures, it can be daily. But at the end of the day, that's mainly all you're doing is misting. I mean, you're providing water, of course, which you would be doing in food. But you're not ever having to clean the enclosure. You never have to change the substrate. Those are huge, especially being in a pet shop. Whenever you're talking about changing out, just imagine, 50, 60 enclosures that you're going to go through. And, even as easy as ReptiChip is to change, it's still a lot of work. So I think the overall maintenance of it is definitely across the board easier, but it does take some learning curve, like she mentioned. If you don't have the right plants in there, then they're not going to thrive. If you don't have the right plant lighting, then you're going to lose plants. If you don't have the right soil nutrients and you don't, have the right macronutrients in the soil set up and have the right bugs to clean it up, then it's not going to be effective. So there's definitely some key pointers and some things that, you have to get right. But once you do, I think it's definitely beneficial. And it doesn't work with all animals. I mean, it can, but like my preference, large snakes, I don't care for in bioactives. Even medium-sized snakes or even like a ball python, for instance, they can thrive in a bioactive. But my deal with a snake is when you pull it out of the enclosure, out of a bioactive, it's constantly covered in dirt.
Yeah.
Snakes like to burrow. They like to get into little tight spots. And, you get a nice, real big bioactive setup and they get into a little spot that you can't get them out of. And then you're ripping the enclosure out to get them. So, we tend to lean more for the other animals. There are certain snakes that do well, like Vietnamese blue beauties. They thrive really well. My Boega, it thrives in a bioactive. They're at this size. Now when it's 7 foot, we'll see how that goes.
Well, I know how destructive like a red tail is. A 7-foot red tail. Good luck on the plants.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, there's some bioactives that can establish and do well with limited plants. Like, I mean, bearded dragons are kind of the same thing. You put any type of plant in there, they're going to eat it, so we've found ways to kind of make them more desert-like setups. You still have your dirt. You still have your bugs. One of the nice things with like a bearded dragon is people say, well, if you don't have your plants, are you still going to sustain that ecosystem? Well, with a bearded dragon, you're constantly putting vegetables in there. So you're giving those isopods something to eat, even if it's not the dead plants, the dead leaves or whatnot. So there's other ways to sustain it. So it just takes a little bit of creativity. Like I said, there's plenty of videos out there to learn. But I think once you get it figured out, it really just comes natural. I mean, like she sets them up so often, it's really kind of just a 1, 2, 3 type thing. You get your soil in there, you add your bio shot, you figure out how you want to put your plants in there, and you're pretty much ready to go. Add your bugs and add the animal.
Yeah. The closest I have to bioactive in the house, and I know it's not bioactive, and I'm never going to call it that, but like I have my tortoises on soil and stuff and dirt with isopods in there, just so I don't have to clean up shit that often, and they take care of it. But like, it's not a full-on bioactive. Like, I don't have layers and drainage layers. It's just simply like dirt mixed in there, and I just pour water in there. It works.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. Like, what I'm calling bioactive is not really truly bioactive, but It kind of does its own thing, and I just have to water it.
Our friend Ashley Howdy just posted a picture of herself in her Reptile Gumbo shirt.
What?
She said today is one of those days that kind of sort of sucked. Well, elaborate on our vacuum problem tomorrow once I have more time. But for now, you know what doesn't suck? This Reptile Gumbo podcast shirt. And with the vintage logo now, because that's no
look
longer.
at it. That is awesome. I need to raise the logo up on the shirt some maybe. That's another thing. So we have merchandise now. I know we've mentioned it.
Oh, that's Sean actually saying that.
Oh,
Yeah.
We have merchandise now. You can go check out on our Facebook page and order. We're in the process of still trying to tweak some things. But we also got a new logo. I posted that out, and we got a new logo. One of our listeners, we worked with them, and he designed us a great new logo. We've been wanting an easier one to carve into stuff because I know Robert despises this logo when it comes to putting it on stuff, and it is a pain in the ass when putting it on stuff.
Yeah.
As much as I love it, and it's not going away, I'll still have it on stuff, but I'm looking forward to using the new logo on things as well. So go check out our merch. We have shirts, we have leggings, we have
shoes.
We have shoes. I've said the first person to buy the pair of shoes.
Your kid is saving her money to buy those shoes.
That's fine. She's not getting an episode. The first person to buy a pair of shoes gets their own episode. Because I just want to see someone buy a pair of shoes with our logo on the side of it. I think
Joe wears a men's 8.5.
That's fine. She's
or
not getting
women's 10.
Just because she has the shoes doesn't give her the episode. You know what?
You don't get to.
Do you know how that episode would turn out? It would be the three of us and her and us going, all right, what are you talking about?
You don't know.
Really? Have you tried to ask her any questions?
You don't know. She talked the whole way home from school today about actual stuff.
Logan's same way. I will say this: since he got back from Florida with his grandmother, he's been a different kid. He's like, "Daddy, threw at your plate. You may throw it away for you, Daddy." The fuck are you? Yes.
So my dad said,
I don't know if she beat him into submission while she had him or
I
what.
love it.
So my dad said, stupid question, but are the bugs in there as food or as part of the ecosystem? Part of the ecosystem. So like, so they talk about like the cleanup crew. Normally it's done with isopods because they're great. They're easy to take care of. They burrow. Now, will they become food?
They can't be.
100%. Yeah. Robert, how'd that go when you added the isopods to your bearded dragon?
It was not I. Logan I set her up in that 4x2x2 and put stuff in there, and Logan just comes in there and dumps a handful of dairy cows in there.
Oh,
yeah. He's like, she started eating them. He's like, no. And he's like grabbing them, getting them out, just trying to eat his finger. It was hilarious.
Also, if that is Sean that said there's no such thing as a stupid question, you haven't been a teacher. I promise
No,
you.
that was Kevin Puhr.
Okay.
Oh, it's Kevin. It's our Kevin.
Kevin. Blind son of a bitch. He knows there's stupid questions. He's asked them at some point, I'm sure.
If everyone, when they log in, if they just go to this stream on Facebook and click on the StreamYard click thing and say, I give you permission, we can see who you are.
So it has always given me permission. And when I responded to Sam earlier, it popped up as
Facebook user
too. And I'm like,
Let's
what the
see.
hell? So Facebook must have reset something at some point.
So Burley said springtails do the majority of the work. But I found my isopods, like if you have dairy cows, they'll fucking eat anything.
yeah. The springtails are more for mold and
mold.
Worked for me.
But
yeah, the
Look
trick
here,
to that
sir.
is make sure they're buried before you put the animal in.
Yes.
That's the trick. And then there's also dwarf. So like if you have like frogs or certain things that eat smaller insects, then you can do the dwarf isopods. But most of the time, like even bearded dragons that will eat anything, like I find that if I bury them first, let it get established, add them to them, then generally they stay below the layer.
Yeah.
Our crested gecko, the crested gecko we have in our classroom picks them off like crazy.
That's so funny.
But like
He
the
really likes
horned
crickets.
frog that I have, oh yeah, our crested gecko goes bananas when I toss a couple crickets in. But the horned frog that we have, he doesn't mess with the
They're too
isopods
small.
anymore.
They're too small.
I
for him
think
to carry.
they're too small for him because he's like quadrupled in size since I got him over the last year. But
Yeah,
so
they're
he
too
doesn't mess
small.
with the isopods anymore.
Well, and I'm always worried certainly like it also, so go back to setting up bioactive. It also, you need to think about the isopod you put in there. So I'm very leery. Like when I used to breed and sell isopods, I'd tell folks they want a cleanup group. I don't suggest dairy cows usually, especially for like snakes, things that aren't dairy cows are probably fine if you're talking about something like boreal, something that's climbing up the sides. But if it's something that's going to lay on the ground to sleep, they're going to get chewed on because I've watched dairy cows just destroy pinkies and destroy
Yes. In a couple
skin.
of hours.
Yeah, I mean they tear it down.
Yeah.
So anything that's going to burrow, anything that's going to go and shed and stay, down in the ground for a long period of time, hibernation. So like even bearded dragons, I wouldn't put dairy cows with a bearded dragon because if you just happen to get that one that decides it wants to brumate, then you never know. But we generally try to stick with like your powder oranges, your powder blues, just keep it really simple. They're going to thrive better in the enclosure anyway. They're generally going to be a little bit easier to take care of. Now, I mean, not to say dairy cows aren't. Dairy cows will thrive in anything. And they breed
Those are the
at
toughest
the
ones I've ever
same
found. They
rate,
breed like crazy.
but they get pretty
Yes.
big, so
Yes.
you're going to be more likely for them to get eaten off by the animals as well. And then, like you said, they are more of a protein eater compared to some of the others. So I definitely agree that would be a slightly questionable isopod. Plus, I mean, they've come down a little bit in price, but they're not exactly cheap either.
Yeah, dairy cows, I always think of like if you want a fish tank without the water, then buy dairy cows, set them up, and enjoy like them as a pet because
Mhm.
they're going to breed like crazy. They get big. You can feed them pretty much anything you can think of, and they'll eat it. It's great.
Yep, that's true.
Amanda already said our dairy cows eat out dead hissers like potato chips. That's just
Eat
Our. She put
dead
an
hissers.
asterisk and an R underneath it.
I'm saying I'm reading what she wrote.
James Lewis.
I don't know what kind of stuff's going on over at the Ready House.
James Lewis. No, sir.
Eating out.
No, sir.
Anyways, but yeah, they what?
Nothing.
Okay. So bioactive, I think a lot of people like what scares me in like a larger collection of bioactive, I'm sure y'all have to worry about it too, is biosecurity when it comes to that. Because y'all are bringing in a lot of different animals here and there.
Yeah.
And I would be horrified to get mites and have 20 bioactive cages.
That's been one of my biggest fears, and luckily we haven't seen that happen yet. I at this point have a philosophy that it's a little harder in the situation. I mean, it only seems to be that way because you don't hear about it as often. So I don't know if that's because the bioactive can maybe control at a small level. That's just a guess. I don't know how it works out in that sense. But I will say, like the front of our shop too, we don't have the same rotation. Like we bring in baby snakes, we keep them in a little rack. Most of the animals that are on display, with the exception of like crested geckos for the most part, are display animals. So the ones that are in the bioactives aren't really on the same rotation, but that is something that we've had some concerns about. And one of the things I've heard is a great remedy for that is predator mites, but it seems to be absolutely impossible to get them in this country. I've exhausted about all options. They come mainly from Europe and they have to be sent and kept at a cool temperature, I think is what the problem is. And so it just seems to be hard to get them here. But
I just need to say a quick thank you and fuck you to Sean Gray. Got a notification that somebody ordered 8.5 size shoes.
I told you last week Sean Gray would end up buying those fucking shoes. Just wait.
For Joe?
Yeah. I knew as soon as my phone rang, I like vibrated and I saw Shopify. I was like, fuck it, I know what.
Oh my god.
I am very interested to see what the shoes look like. I'm not gonna lie.
That's awesome.
She'll wear the shit out of those
She will wear the
shoes too.
So my favorite thing popped up
Yesterday. I
yesterday.
was just about to say it too.
So it was the Beaumont show 2 years ago, where Joe dressed up as Sean Gray.
It was the first Beaumont show.
Yeah. She had we painted the matching shoes to match his
There was
shoes.
no we. There was a you painted the
Yeah,
shoes.
I did.
You made the
That's
shoes.
that's the same show where you made the Sambo that spit out
Sam-
candy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That's true.
James had like a fake Sambo made out of pipe, and when the kids would come up, they'd hold their thing out and he'd drop it in one end and it would spit it out. the other.
Everybody thinks I'm the crafty one.
Yeah, it's really fucking annoying when I decorate my classroom and people they know you're a teacher. Like, I'm like, did your wife do this? No, fucker, I did it.
They all think I did it. I'm like, no.
Anyway, go ahead and finish telling them how Joe
I'm
dressed up.
sorry.
So yeah, Joe had a herp shirt and we got a badge made. We had
The badge was exactly the same one that he wore.
Mhm.
exact same badge.
So Talina knew about the costume.
She had to make the
because
badge.
she had to make the badge. Jennifer with Pink Pitbull knew about it because she did a temporary tattoo on the arm
That's right.
to match the tattoo that Sean had.
Mhm.
So she knew about the costume. And there was one other person that knew about the
I
costume.
knew about it.
Yeah, I think y'all were
Obviously.
the other people that knew about it. And that was it.
And so we walked her up
No
there
one else
at
knew.
the show on because it was on Halloween.
Mhm.
And Sean turned around and just saw her. She had a microphone just like he
Well,
does.
she said Sean Gray to the front on the
Yeah.
microphone because
Yeah.
it actually.
So that was.
I mean, we're talking the same socks he wears at the show,
we ordered everything.
khaki, like she had her pigtails and she had one that was purple and one that was green. I did the Herps logo on a purple collared shirt. Like that was probably the most detail that we have ever put into one of her costumes.
Yeah, for me, those shoes took forever to paint.
Yeah.
I took pictures of what because Sean had posted pictures of his shoes like a year prior, and I went and found those pictures and I studied them to be able to paint the shoes to match identical. So
I painted a pair of shoes recently. It took about 6 hours, so I feel you on that.
yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. I enjoyed that one, but that popped up yesterday, and I also forgot how small Joe was 2 years ago,
She was so tiny. I seen the video.
Yeah.
She was so tiny.
and she's not now.
I know she's like an inch shorter than I am.
They grow so fast.
I'm not okay.
Hey, speaking of Sean Gray, there he is.
Yeah.
My oldest, when he
Shout out,
talks,
Yeah.
he's got that deep man voice now. He's 12.
Oh,
Like, who are you?
His voicemail box though still has his old voice. So when you call him,
nice.
Little voice.
you've called Jackson. I'm like, what happened to this kid?
My favorite people. That's Becca.
Oh.
What's up, Becca?
Love you, Becky.
I had to look because it's
It's being weird tonight. I don't know what's up.
Game
Yeah.
of guess.
And normally it's not. Normally all these people have their names next to them.
yeah. I think Facebook did a big update and they have to go back and reauthorize.
and it's been crazy.
Go figure. Facebook's fucking people over.
Because earlier Sean Gray didn't have his name next to it.
Neither did Bergoli. Where's Douglas Ray White at tonight?
Maybe he's still hungover from his birthday the other day.
Maybe.
But so
Jesus Christ, the Phillies just hit another home run.
Oh, stop it.
I looked down to see the dude around him first on a home run trot.
You must be a little ahead of me because the ball isn't even in the stands yet
Yeah.
on that one.
Really?
Mhm.
you said I looked over and I watched it land.
Yep.
But he was already rounding first when I said it. So that
Uh,
was like a couple years ago. The MLB app that just shows you hit the first. It showed grand slam by Yuli, and I look up at the TV and it hadn't even happened yet. And I was like, I'm gonna post grand slam with Yuli. I did it before he even hit it on TV. People were like, how'd you know?
About the streaming? I used to have that at the house even when you have the streaming services. I'd have one bedroom like 15 seconds behind the other bedroom
Mhm.
on the same house. It's just
Ours
weird.
does that. If I'm watching anything anywhere else in the house, or like if I'm upstairs and he's downstairs, it'll be like just like a 10-second delay.
Mhm.
So I'll hear him holler downstairs. I'm like, fuck, something's about to happen.
But I do want one thing that's happened. I want to talk about a couple things that have happened since the last time we had a show. And one thing that I know all of us saw because we live in this area was the massive 15-foot python loose in Houston
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to eat people.
We had somebody in the shop the other day telling us, did y'all see that huge 15-foot python? We're like, calm down, lady.
So for anybody that was living under a rock, 'cause it was on like national. I found it on a North Carolina news site,
Yeah.
and it was on every Facebook group. There supposedly there's a picture, and you can't really tell the actual location, but in the picture, it's a carpet python, maybe 6 foot long, on top of a fence behind. Supposedly is supposed to be an apartment complex.
Yeah.
In Houston, just supposed to be in Houston, and people were freaking out about it. And then every story that got spread, even like the local, so several of the local news stations had a Facebook article the next day about 10-foot, 15-foot python loose. And
It's like someone Googled carpet python can reach 15 foot. Okay, it's 15 foot long.
Yep.
Automatically.
I didn't do that. They Googled python.
Yeah.
They Googled python. And
Well, and then the guy that they interviewed was an idiot. And then he kept coming on the post defending his position.
Yeah.
And like posting stories about pythons eating people.
Yeah.
And one of our friends who she's pretty young, she was arguing. And I'm like, and then there's a little group chat where I was like, sometimes you just have to know when to stop. You're not going to change this dude's mind. All you're going to do is frustrate yourself.
I did go. I found every Facebook article from news sources. Like that's how I knew North Carolina had one, and I did at least just do a blanket comment about what it was and just simple. I didn't argue with anybody. But I went ahead and posted on all of them. But yeah, it's a maybe 6-foot carpet python that's probably not going to get much bigger. And everybody's freaking out about it killing people and eating people. I'm like, it can't even eat your dog. Calm down.
Right.
And so, and now with that said, if it was there and it's obviously it would have to be a released or escaped pet. That is a pain in the butt because that does hurt all of us on something that is obviously harmless, but the public doesn't see it as harmless. And then when actual quote unquote news sources put out that it's 15 foot, which literally that's how I saw someone post it. And I think I saw one article where it said 15-foot python loose, and the picture was a ball python. They didn't even take the actual picture that was posted. It was a picture of a ball python. So that was fucking annoying. And then at the same time, I think a video came out this past week of someplace in in Indonesia or whatever of a retic supposedly eating a grandmother. But it's very much like, so there was a picture that floated around probably at this point, it's probably 20 years ago, of a retic cut open, and all you see is it's cut open enough to be able to see from like the waist down of a guy. But it definitely looks like they cut it open. Guy crawled up in there and they took a picture.
Yeah.
And so this video, it's very shaky. It's all I watched it. It's very shaky. You don't actually watch them cut the snake open and find the body. It's after it's already cut open and you can only see part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it really feels like they found a retic that ate a big animal of some sort. They then killed that retic, cut that animal out, put a person in, and then pretended that a person got eaten by a snake.
Yeah. So Darren Watson said, wasn't there also a cobra loose in a zoo somewhere? Was it Sweden?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
but it was actually up in the light fixture.
Climbed up into the light
Yeah.
fixture.
So they figured it was like high gone, you know.
They did an X-ray and found it in the wall.
But it was actually in the same building.
Yeah, never
Yeah.
left.
Well, it's because if it's, I don't know how their building is, but I've worked at a zoo. If it can crawl into the light fixture of its cage, it's still in the keeper area.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
not in the
It's not
public
technically
area.
Right.
loose
Yeah,
at
no,
that
they said it
point.
was in between the walls of its own home. So essentially, they said they replaced it with like a high efficiency bulb, which I guess was a smaller bulb, allowed it to get up in there. And so they did an
Oh.
X-ray and they actually tried drilling holes to get the snake. But when they did, the cobra just moved on to the next spot or whatever. But then the king cobra came back down into his enclosure. They just found it in the enclosure.
So that was, everybody freaked out about that one. But I'm like, the way those are normally designed, they're not designed for the thing to be able to get, even if it can get out of any hole, it's still away from the people.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stupid snake stuff. There was something else one of the things that's been bothering me lately, and it bothers me all the time, but I've seen a lot of people posting pictures with venomous snakes with them holding the heads and pinning it. I'm like, it drives me nuts when field herpers feel the need that they have to catch something and then pin it and then hold the head. I'm like, just fucking look at
And
it.
then there was one on National Snake Bite Support this week. The first picture is the guy holding a baby Atrox by the back of the head. And the next one is his finger all fucking swole up because that thing got a fang around and pow. Joe knows how that feels. Not because he was holding it by the head, but I mean, he knows it sucks.
Definitely not something you want to go
And,
through. Herping experience.
Yeah. And he had a freaking huge, and then he's arguing with the people on there because he's like, I was a combat medic and we lanced all blisters. And they're like, well, then
Not a
lance it
blister,
if you want to, dude.
But it's not a
Right.
It's not a blister.
Right.
That's dying flesh. Like
Right.
but there's a difference between, oh no, I got a blister, and that stuff is eating away your flesh
Is
from
that
the
before or after you
Phillies
suck
just
the
hit
venom
another
out?
home run.
What the hell?
Yeah.
They need to pull McCullers' ass now. I could hit his freaking curveball tonight. I swear. It's not curving. It's just going like this.
Did you see
Anyway,
that
sorry, go ahead.
the official from the other night apparently called a perfect game?
Perfect game. No, he didn't. He got every ball and every strike correct. That wasn't
They say
swung at.
that. I watched that game, and I always go off the little box in the picture, and there were a lot of balls below that box and inside of that, like outside of that box. So I don't know how they define perfect game, but there were some pitches that were off. Anyways,
Funny. I
Is it-
posted a picture of a snake this week.
what picture was that?
The one from my zoology club from school. They wanted
Nice
our
segue. I see how you did that.
I know our district sends out an email once a week with like things happening around the district, and there was an elementary school that started a sewing club, and I was like, I see your sewing club, and I raised you a zoology club. So I put together a cute little article, and my administration's going to send it in with our picture, and who knows, maybe we'll be on the next email. But yeah, it was awesome. I had about 20 kids that stayed, and we had a great little first meeting. So an hour went by really fast. I had way too much planned, and
It looked fun. They all had great smiling faces.
they did.
My goal is to
James
do
did a great job with that.
Yeah. My goal is to do a zoology club. It'll be cool once it gets done.
We had a good time. It was really awesome because and we talked about this on a previous episode, but I made them fill out an application, and then they had to get a behavior form filled out by their current teacher, and they had to get a letter of recommendation from someone who wasn't related to them. So they had to do a lot to even be considered to be a part of this club. But
You can guess who that is.
Yeah.
but one of those, I will say, with the exception of like one kid at the meeting, and I totally let him in as the club could be good for him type situation because he's one of mine and I know his personality. Other than him, everyone like hung on every word that was said. They asked really intelligent questions. It was amazing. I had to remind him several times to sit still, but it's okay.
I wanted to add one more dumb person to handling snakes.
Oh Lord.
This one got shared in a group, and I heard about it, and so we talked about it. And it was the girl in Australia carrying around what she thought was a garter snake.
Yeah.
That was a king brown.
Yeah.
Oh,
It never bit her.
Thank God.
She lucked out. She was holding one of the most venomous snakes on earth, and it never bit her. But yeah,
That's terrifying. That's a great example of why you should just not touch anything.
well, there's the video with the American kids playing with the coral snake, and they're saying the rhyme that doesn't actually mean, but they're
Mhm.
saying it correctly for what it is in that situation, and still ignore it. Like they're perceiving it incorrectly, I guess, and then they get bit by the coral snake
Oh, I haven't seen that.
after messing with it for like 5-10
It
minutes.
makes my
Like,
stomach hurt a
Well,
little
and
bit.
squeezing its head too. That's
Yeah.
another thing.
So that happened when I was a kid. I don't know. I was probably 12 or 13. Yeah. Because my brother was still alive because it was him that did it. We were at our family's lake house and go up to him and my cousin and they're like, check out this snake we caught. And it's a coral snake. And they're both holding it and it's going. So my uncle took it and used it for bait and caught a big catfish. But, you know,
Okay.
whatever.
oh,
That's funny.
So I was going through some of the. Oh, also dumb person. This one got posted around a lot. Was the chick that let the iguana bite her tongue?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah. Nathan posted on here, but I've seen it from a couple people.
No.
She's holding this green iguana and like sticks her tongue out, and it bites and latches on, and then the next thing you see is just
Blood.
She's
How does she still have part of her tongue?
Because they don't chew.
It didn't get her like all the way across. It just did like kind of a centered bite, but you know it lacerated her tongue at some
Oh
point.
yeah.
I had one bite my thumb and it was a gash pretty deep. So I cannot imagine the tongue. Like
Mm.
There's a video similar to that with a bear cub. Did you see that?
No.
The girl has like this bear cub in her lap, and she's like playing with it and playing with it. All of a sudden, it just latches like
I
right
do remember.
here,
No,
like
I've
the
seen that.
lower
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of her lip. It was
I can
intense.
testify that there are animals that will do that. You think they're fun and cute and cuddly.
Oh,
I had a cat do
What?
that to me.
That freaking tiger, the baby tigers at the zoo,
What they do to you?
it was cuddling and we were snuggling, and then it just like latches onto the side of my boob and it hurt like a bitch.
Tiger.
It had lots
It bit
of
you
teeth.
or it clawed you?
No, like it bit me
Oh.
on the side
It's a tiger.
of yeah.
What'd you fucking expect? It's a
Well, I
tiger.
didn't expect it
It's not
to
a
just
kitten.
turn
it's a
its
tiger.
head and like
Tiger
take
kitten.
a bite out of me.
It's a tiger.
It was like a few weeks old.
Yep.
Play stupid games.
Yeah.
I posted one of an awesome looking slender snouted crocodile that was melanistic. Posted a
I
picture.
just how much of that stuff is real and how much of it is photoshopped?
No, that's real. That's an actual. That's an
Yeah.
existing one. That's,
Okay.
Saw
I
several
always-
people that took pictures with this one. It's from I forget where it belongs to, but that's a real one. Yeah,
What is it?
slender snouted croc.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's
Solid black.
wicked
It is.
looking.
yeah.
But I don't know. I guess when I see stuff like that, I'm like, is it
No,
real?
that was real. That one was real. I've seen that. There were other pictures that people posted of it at other places. There's a place that has it. But I worked with slender snout. I had a slender snout at the zoo that we worked with. They're
Mhm.
great. The Nile sucked, but it was great.
I was about to say, yeah, the slender snout was pretty cool.
You posted something about the giant deep sea isopod.
Those are creepy
Oh,
looking.
They
Yeah,
are
creepy.
very
Right.
creepy
Let's turn
looking.
this off.
Josephine was having to find an article
I didn't
for
watch the games Saturday night and they won. So
an English assignment, and she wanted an article on isopods, and that was one of the ones I found. And then I was like, this might be a cool article. It basically just talks about the giant sea isopods.
Did you see my pencil sharpener?
I saw your pencil sharpener.
that was pretty cool. I wonder how frustrating it is to get it to make the full circle though.
So it's like a gecko. For anybody hadn't seen it, it's a gecko with a pencil sharpener built into it. And so when you turn the pencil, the shaving forms like a collar around it. So it looks kind of like the lizard from Jurassic Park. The dinosaur from Jurassic Park that didn't actually look the way they did in
Oh my
Jurassic Park.
gosh.
That wasn't factual either. Let's try to go through all of these. Oh, there's the one, the missing grandmother eaten by the 22-foot python. Yeah, that's not true. Oh, we went to a concert Wednesday.
On a Wednesday. I will never do
Yeah,
that.
that was rough. But we wouldn't guess for anybody that knows Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, awesome punk band from late 90s, early 2000s. But we got to go see them in concert at the House of Blues. And I've been there before. And I guess I've never noticed this piece of art on the wall, but I posted it. It says Louisiana king snake. It does also say like non-poisonous. And then it says pine snake on there, which I thought was cool because I own both those snakes. And it's just cool looking like abstract piece of art of two snakes that I own.
I don't think I've noticed that there. The
Yeah,
House of Blues. We've been a couple of times.
It's on the far wall when you walk in. I was like, I want that, but I don't.
We saw it when we were
Put
buying
it
a
in your
t-shirt.
purse.
It's
Yeah,
quite
James
large.
was like, "Can we take that off the wall?" I was like, "We cannot." Keep
quite
walking.
large.
Don't mind. Don't mind. Just gonna borrow it.
I'll bring it back one of these days.
No.
Oh, great video I posted. Did you see the alligator? Look like the alligator coming up on shore to eat the bird. And then
Oh.
like fucking T-Rex coming after like just out of nowhere, this gigantic gator comes running out of the
It's like
trees
Yeah.
Lake Placid.
and grabs him and eats him. Like,
And that little one never had a chance of
No,
getting
look
that
at it.
bird.
Oh,
no. And all of a sudden just fucking gets eaten by the bigger one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like there's always a bigger fish in the sea. Yeah, there's always a bigger alligator, apparently.
100%.
Like, you know, the alligator's like, oh, I'm gonna get this bird. I'm gonna get this bird. At the last second, he goes, what the fuck's that noise? Oh shit.
Too late.
Lake Placid is a great movie.
That is a great movie, Lake Placid. No, I didn't watch
I
the
haven't
sequel.
Yeah,
seen
there's
it.
Betty White in it.
It does have Betty White. She's
Oh, I
the
forgot
reason there
about
were
that.
so many
Yeah.
problems.
She's like, I'm rooting for the crocodile.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Long time since I've seen that.
I know.
also posted a cool video of snail eating snakes, eating a snail.
That I thought that was a pretty neat video just because I guess I never thought about snakes that eat snails.
How to get them out? Yeah, because it has to get it out of there.
Yeah.
They don't eat the shell.
Right.
Yeah, I never even thought about.
I mean, because I know that there are snakes that eat things other than mice.
Yeah.
But
I
I
never thought about snails.
mm-mm.
So,
Hey, it's Todd.
hey, Todd.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then I was trying to see what else got posted. Oh, so here's a video that Nathaniel posted. This dumbass, and I'm assuming in
Nathaniel or
Florida,
Nathan.
Nathan, my bad, Nathan, finds this big soft shell on the side in this dirt road in a hole laying eggs. He picks it up and then it just starts dropping eggs out of it all over the ground.
Aw.
You can see the eggs falling out of her on the bottom. Like, leave shit alone. Just leave shit alone. So
Bergoli wants to know how much weed was blazed up the House of Blues every time he goes. It's overwhelming.
none.
Oh, we didn't smell any.
It was also me versus the Gimmies, and everybody was our age or older,
Yeah.
and we all had to like
And
work
Joe.
the next day. So
And Joe, because we took our daughter.
Yeah.
That was when I realized I'm way too old to do a concert on a school night. Fell asleep in the car on the way home. Joe fell asleep in the car on the way home. Poor James.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
it was a good time.
Oh, we had an awesome time. And she was 3 days later still singing along with the
She
songs
wasn't
from the
crazy about
concert.
one of the opening bands. One of the opening bands was,
It was like a screaming,
like
punk
old school,
band,
like punk. It
old
was a
school,
girl-
and she was not digging that at all.
the
She
female
like
lead
played on
singer,
her
and it was
phone.
just screaming. And she's like, yeah, because like when we first got there, I got us right up next to the rail, like right at the stage, and I waited for the first opening act to go on, and I mean it's loud, but it's supposed to be loud.
You know, there's a murder in that building last night.
Was it really?
What?
You know that bowling alley that's upstairs from
Yeah,
House of
yeah.
Blues?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy from Migos. The
That's where he was
rap
shot?
group. That's where he was shot at. Was at that 810
Oh.
bowling billiards and yeah.
But
But it was like 3 a.m. when they were in there playing
Yeah.
dice.
after the first song, I looked at Joe. I was like, "Is that too loud?" She was, yeah. So then we had to go to the back of the thing. I was like, but then of course at the end of that show, into that the first act, the guy comes and hands out drumsticks right where we would have been standing. I was like, man, you missed out on free drumsticks.
Oh man.
She had a great. She's definitely one of those. Like I'm one of those concert goers where I'm like, I need space to jump around and dance and sing and have a great time. And Joe just like stands on the rail and like bobs her head. That's about all she does. It's hilarious.
If I would have realized that's
Cute.
where y'all were going, I would have told y'all that Mexican food place right there, Guadalajara, that's downstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Is
top
it?
notch. If you like lime,
We at McDonald's.
their
right?
their beef fajitas are marinated in lime.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous.
These were free tickets, and I was going to save
Yes.
as much money as possible. So
there you go. I
McDonald's.
feel that. I had McDonald's for lunch today.
Nathan also posted that Georgia restricts ownership of pythons, tegus, and other reptiles. I haven't read this one, but I knew they've been trying. I mean, Georgia has some of the strictest reptile and pet ownership laws out there. So
Joe Challoner just posted in our group a link to an article in Missouri. Missouri Snake Show Venom Fest shut down after Cobra disappears
So you and I had heard about them shutting down Venom Fest on Sunday.
Sunday.
The rumor was that it was for electrical
Electrical.
issues or whatever issues. But now it's coming out what we thought it probably was
That
it
sucks.
escaped,
That
which is
doesn't
going
help.
to
That
not
doesn't help any of us.
It's not going to help shows at all, especially hot shows, which Herbst does several hot shows, which has never had that happen at a Herbst show.
Luckily, they found it on day 2 before they opened. The vendor found that one of his containers had been moved and was empty, but was still sealed. That sounds like somebody stole that snake and sealed the container back up.
See it just phased through the container.
Yeah. That's a little too sketchy.
Yeah, Nikki said the snake didn't put the lid back on, and the snake didn't move its container 2 foot.
Hey, look, I've seen 12-foot Burmese pythons face.
Get out of and not knock over the stuff on top of it.
That was fucking
We
amazing.
saw that.
That thing was inside of a giant tub, flipped over upside down on top of a table with about 20 giant ball python deli cups stacked on top of it. Come in the next morning, the big ass tub is empty, and every ball python is still stacked on top of that tub. And then we lifted the tablecloth, and there it is, laying underneath the table, like it had just phased straight through the table and hit the ground, and did not move anything.
That was bizarre.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know how it did. I mean, I couldn't have. 9 out of 10 people moving the deli cups off the top of the thing to set them back up would have knocked ball pythons off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking got out of it, no problem.
Yeah, they spent 6 to 7 hours. Several of the experienced people there looking for it, and they were going to go back, I guess, yesterday and do it again and look through the whole thing.
Still missing her.
Yeah,
Was it in a hotel again?
They weren't able to do it where they did it last time because apparently
They got smart.
right before the last one in March, the city found out they were doing it because Mickey said he had called, which I mean, I'm sure he did. He had talked to someone at the city and they were like, oh, it's on private property. You don't have a permit. Well, the city was like, no, you have to have a permit. And we're denying the permit. City council denied the permit.
Oh, wow.
Because it's illegal to keep venomous snakes in Festus, Missouri.
Oh, hey, Joe, if you're going to steal a venomous snake, why would you take time to remove it from the container?
Good point. Why wouldn't you just take the container?
You just carried it out in his pocket. Just
Hey,
do it.
Joe, you and I both know some dumbass people that would put a fucking cobra in their pocket. So
I saw him do it on YouTube. That one dude has a king cobra and he plays with it. So I can do this.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that'll probably be it for that. Because you got the Herpetological Society there coming out saying we didn't support this in the beginning. We definitely won't support it now.
Oh, that's not good.
The St. Louis Herpetological Society.
That's gonna be rough.
So yeah, it sucks because I mean we know vendors who drove from here up there to vend and ended up losing the whole day Sunday.
Yeah.
They want her to have to walk all the way downstairs. I hate our stairs.
So yeah, that was rough. I think anything else? What?
That's your dad. Why would they boop it on the nose?
He is on fire tonight. He is sassy tonight.
I don't think my dad's ever been sassy.
Yes, he has. You just don't see that side of him.
See, that's what I'm afraid.
Oh, geez.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because that's what I was gonna bring up, but I didn't. Anyways, what else do we have going on? Anything else?
Your new logo. Did you talk about that?
We did.
I'm sorry.
You were here.
I was helping our kid with homework.
But we are super excited about it. We're gonna put it on some merchandise.
I like it.
I do.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It
Doesn't look like pizza.
It doesn't look like pizza. It's very clean. It's very easy to like put on stuff.
On the news article though, it's a ball python.
Of course, it is.
in a
deli cup.
Like in a pet store.
In like a cage.
That's like a
legit tank.
That's like a PetSmart setup.
Yeah.
They went and took a picture of a ball python. Venomous snakes.
We need a snake. Someone go get us a picture of a snake.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you,
Worst
Todd.
I've ever seen was, y'all know the Casio G-Shock, the watch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did a whole line. It was an African rock python watch. And it's like
I remember
advertising.
that, yeah.
And it was a boa on the front of it.
I remember that.
And I'm like, how do you have all this money in a marketing campaign on a
Right.
very popular
specific
watch? I mean, that
snake.
Casio's been around for a long time.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
small brand. And a
Some
very
marketing
specific
person
snake.
failed there.
Oh my gosh.
I remember seeing that.
Fired.
And it was
You
not a cheap watch. I mean, it was
you're
like, 'cause I
fired.
wanted it until I saw that, but it was like a $300-$400 watch. I was just like, wow, that's incredible. It was like limited edition. The proceeds went to like some, animal type thing,
Yeah.
but still, it was just major fail. Major
Oh
fail.
my gosh.
So what do you have going on breeding wise? No breeding anything?
Mainly just focusing on pet grade stuff for the shop. We've been breeding, ball pythons, leopard geckos, crested geckos, a little bit of everything.
Ball pythons.
Hey, they sell. They're still popular.
That's right.
Motherfucking.
I don't think we're going to breed ball pythons this year. I think we're going to skip this season and see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for 3.
We also
litters-
don't own a pet store, so
That's
it's a little
true.
different.
I'm hoping for 3 litters of boas. That is what I'm aiming for. But I think only one boa so far is knocked up because she has now finally gone into shed and laying on the heat and just hanging out there.
In fact, let's do our
So
weekend.
now comes the countdown of like 104 5 days or whatever it is.
But you did have babies born the other day.
I did have Samboas born. I had a litter of Samboas born,
Nice.
and they have all shed. And now I've got to get food for them, get them feeding, and then get them sold so I can buy more food for other snakes. So that is the whole goal.
The cycle.
Yes.
The
So
cycle.
make snakes to buy food to make more snakes.
Yeah.
So I got 10 Anery Samboas that in about a month and a half will be looking for a home. Megan says someone needs to breed some speckled king snakes. I know, guys.
I'm going to do that this year. Actually, I'm going to let them do it.
Aren't they waiting?
I'm just going to watch.
No, ours is.
Ours aren't big enough, are they?
We only have one.
Just wait. Okay.
We only have one speckled king snake.
Totally.
Florida.
You bought it.
We have 2 pine snakes.
Those are not the same thing.
Those are not the same thing, but we have 2 pine snakes.
Yes.
Okay.
They could breed because they're the same genus.
Not the pine snake.
They're not?
No, pine snakes are Pituophis.
Yeah, I'm talking about your pine. You have 2 pine snakes, right?
Those are the same pine snakes. Yeah.
Okay.
She thought
Yeah, you have
same
2
thing.
Louisiana pines.
I thought
Yeah.
we had 2 speckled king snakes
No.
No.
and
I have
1
like
pine snake. I
We
had
just
them
have,
backwards.
we just have
Five
one
or
very,
4.
very pretty speckled king snake.
We do. I
something.
remember I bought that one for you.
She's awesome.
Yeah, so you can't see how many ball pythons are on Morph Market anymore. That
Can you
little
not?
that little function's gone now.
They're like, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna
What?
take this away.
10,460.
Oh,
Can you
God.
see
No,
other?
way than
No,
that.
it
No,
was-
it was.
There's
It
that
was
many more.
49,000 last week when I looked.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Can you see other types? So you just can't see it all now.
Well, so you had to revert back to the old
Oh, you can't go
view,
back to
and
the
I
old
guess
view.
it's gone now. Which was probably only going to be there for a certain amount of time.
I mean, I'm sure it's still somewhere north of 45.
I'm sure
Which is just absolutely insane.
it's a lot of snakes.
I'm just trying to get it. I mean, I wish I would tell you how many. I'd like to know how many. There's got to be a way.
You gotta go add them all up.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah,
take
you
forever.
get red on that.
One,
Come on, James.
2. I mean,
Everything
there's
from 210 hypo to Zawadi.
there's 7,000 yellow belly. So that's just yellow belly.
Yeah.
So
Let's see how many visual pieds there
shit
were.
ton.
There's
Pieball. Here you go.
5,864 inches.
Pieball. It's visual. It's 4,259.
That's about where it was.
Which is just crazy.
Yeah. The
Man, I
visual.
can't figure out why people can't sell ball. Oh, here we go. There are 49,444 ball pythons.
Oh, you're able to get it.
Yep.
There's 3,907 visual clowns.
So if you go, where's this ball pythons up top, and there's a little eye for the info, and you hover over it, tells you how many there are. It really should
Oh,
just
look at
say
that.
shit ton.
That's crazy.
There are a shit ton of ball
Too
pythons.
many.
I mean, over 50.
So it was staying in the 20,000s for a long time. But I think what it is now is all the people who bought in during COVID are starting to produce babies now.
Yeah.
So you're going to see, and it's next year is going to be even more. There's going to be, I bet there's 70,000 ball pythons on here this time next year.
The thing is, I bet if you look by price, I bet anything that's over 5,000, it's a very small number.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of people that got into it, think they're gonna make a bunch of money when they bought a pied and a yellow belly, and like, oh, I'm gonna do it.
Well, the problem too is the market has just fallen out. I mean, on
Yep.
several of the animals as well.
It's not just ball pythons. It's
no, in general,
it's-
but ball
yeah.
pythons have been worse for sure.
12,073 pastels. Holy cow.
Because it goes back to that person that bought some pastels, going, I'm gonna be rich.
Well, and
Oh, it's-
pastels,
It's just infectious.
there's so many things that pastels in that they throw, it'll throw a pastel in the clutch.
Yeah, and it seems to be one of those prolific genes where everything in the clutch gets it.
Yeah.
So there's 49,000 ball pythons. There's 4,658 boas.
Yeah. That's all boas.
Yeah, it's all boas.
The mic. You gotta talk into the mic.
You got to make love to the microphone. Tickle it with your
No.
facial
What's the
hair.
one we
No,
have?
sir.
Puzzle? Yeah.
Now we're just playing around.
There's only 71 visual puzzles.
There you go. You
We might
have it.
breed those.
So
Well,
you're
they
saying
won't be ready
there's
for
a
another year.
Mhm.
No, they might be ready next year. I don't know. I don't do all that anymore.
So how do y'all breed stuff at home, or is everything done at the shop?
Everything's at the shop.
How weird did it go from having stuff at home to no longer having anything at home?
It was really quiet and like almost sad at first.
But you have a pig.
Yeah.
And dogs and cats
And kids.
and kids. And you got plenty at home.
Well, and then after spending all day at the shop, when I go home, it's nice not having anything there.
My God, beat the shit
I
out of the
thought it
microphone
was
over there.
me.
Carl's here.
Oh, what's up, Carl?
Carl.
I'm surprised that Carl had never heard of this, and he's here during the Astros game.
Yeah.
That's real
Probably-
love right
Probably-
there.
Even he doesn't want to watch that
Probably because
game.
the Astros are getting so ugly.
Morelia House asked how many. Yes, how many carpet pythons are
That's still $40.
on Morph Market? You might want to take a guess. How many carpet pythons total?
1,200.
You say 1,200.
Ooh, wow.
You take a guess. How many do you think?
600.
600. Okay.
I don't know. I'm throwing out a number.
Both
see.
my guesses are taken.
I'll say 2,000.
Say 2,000.
I'm gonna guess 382.
Way to look it up. 382.
I wondered
Wow.
if it was
That is
gonna
it.
be super- a
Incredible.
low number, actually. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I figured it'd be a decent number, but wow, that's impressive.
There are
382.
How many hog noses are there? That's a good question because there never seems to be enough hog noses.
3,283 leopard geckos.
So I'll look at hog nose.
Jeez.
1,744 hog nose. That's lower than I thought. 1,744.
Well, they sell really fast, so they're not going to stay there.
That's true.
1,900 king
You
snakes.
check out those fuckers eating is the only problem.
We have a trick. So we go and you get like your canned salmon, similar to like your tuna, but in water. And then you dip your pinky in that water, that salmon juice, and they'll hit it every single time.
Huh.
And the real difficult ones, a friend of ours actually found this trick. Put them in a really small container when they're young, real young, where they really just have nothing to move around with a little like live pinky mouse in there. And most of the time you come back, they'll take it.
Have
That's what I've done with corn snakes.
Yeah.
Just put them in there and put it back in their thing and come back the next day and check. And no more pinky.
We even had a breeder give a pair that they could not get eating to a friend of ours, and she was able to get them eating doing that.
Have you done the fish juice with any other species or just the hog noses?
Yeah.
Yeah, with our corns, kings, pretty much everything but a ball python I've tried it on. Just not necessarily because they are hard to eat, but giving them a little bit of enrichment, changing up the smell, seeing what they'll respond to. I like to test those kinds of things out in the shop.
I wonder if it's the smell of fish or if it's not the smell of fuzzy white
Really?
mice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Because I have heard people say too, like certain species, like they'll wash the mouse and then they'll take it.
I've done
avoiding
it.
this scent.
I've done it with the stuff that deer hunters use to wash, like the soap they use.
Uh-huh.
I've washed pinkies with that before to get the scent off of them when I've had some tricky Samboa babies that wouldn't eat for me, and they'll eat.
That's incredible.
Yep.
It's just a matter of getting, because I mean, you gotta imagine most of these things don't eat, or all of them in the wild. They don't eat these little tiny white lab mice.
Yeah.
Right. So that smell is not a natural smell that is supposed to be food.
That's true.
So
I think James Bergoli's is on. I think he's on dope.
what the fuck? On another note, why doesn't Power Rangers change their storyline? Teenage drama, monster, big robot, dead monster, resolve teenage drama. What the fuck is wrong?
I was just about to say Ethan has control of the
James
TV
Bergoli,
tonight.
please don't smoke weed and then get on the podcast.
I was just about to say
Ethan got me.
Ethan has
No,
him watching Power
That
Rangers.
is I smoked weed and now I'm having weird thoughts kind of thing. They don't change it because no one's actually writing that script. I think they just show up on the day and go, "All right, guys, do whatever."
Do what you did last Thursday.
Remember how
Mhm.
Whatever we're doing is working and keep doing it.
Remember the show we did in 1997? Do that one again, but now we're gonna do it in space. So
Changed colors.
You ever seen that?
yeah. Oh, Daphne asked, "Why did y'all want to open a store?" Yeah. Why did y'all have the horrible idea to want to open a store?
It's not a horrible idea.
To fund our problem of animal reptile owning. No, we I guess like saw a need for a good quality store in our area.
There's a PetSmart.
Eh.
Quality.
They have fancy ball pythons.
And they're
What kind of-
amazing care guides.
They
right?
learned what a banana is too now. Apparently.
They found out if they put banana, they could charge more.
They sell them for like 500 for a baby banana.
Yeah, they realized.
But
we don't
they
keep-
must be selling them.
They got fancies and bananas.
We don't keep calling everything fancies. We can charge more for that shit.
I can't tell you the last time I was at PetSmart.
Crickets is the only reason we go in there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
I don't have anything. to eat
Dog
crickets.
food.
Dog food.
We do buy our
food.
dog food from there.
Dog food is so fucking expensive now.
God, it's like $60 for a bag.
Yeah.
I'm about 5 seconds away from just feeding Alpo to my shit.
No.
Enjoy your salt lick in a bag.
No.
Fuckers.
I can't.
That is
It's
expensive.
fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Although rats are like,
Well, I'll be honest though, it's not the type of dog food we use that's expensive. it's all dog food.
Yeah, because we use the brand they like, the PetSmart brand.
No, but even like, because a couple months back you were like, well, let's just buy a bag of something else and we'll mix it with what we've got. Like, we genuinely considered switching, and shy of going to like Old Roy, there's nothing out there.
Figure if we're just gonna post nonsense in there, I'm gonna find all the
God.
things.
Yeah, your dad. I'm fixing to start feeding Old Roy. Maggie won't get Old Roy.
You paid too much for that dog to feed Old Roy.
Yeah.
No, whatever.
They're fucking
Sweet
mutt.
Maggie.
That-
Maggie is an Irish golden.
I just
Wow,
gotta say
she
this.
has grown a lot in 2 years.
Joe. Yeah.
Wow.
I just gotta say this because I don't know how many people out there. What the fuck happens to parents when kids move out?
What do you mean?
Because I grew up in the same house with that guy, and that guy was not paying $1,200 for me to get a dog.
No.
So
but my
Now
mom's like,
he
I want
only
a $1,200.
Now he
Poodle
only
mutt.
lives with your mom.
my grandfather, a tough old Italian man, owned his own business doing HVAC. Was when I was a kid, we were scared of Grandpa. You just, hey, Grandpa. I mean, that was it. He loved us. He would do things with us, took me hunting, fishing, whatnot. But when he got home from work, he was never in a good mood.
Yeah.
And he retired right when my sister was born. My sister's 13 years younger than me. I remember coming home from school and she's like jumping on his bed, changing the TV. I'm like, we weren't even allowed in there.
Yeah.
What the hell? And
yeah.
he got like, because my mom had me and my brother. She was pretty young, 18, 19 when I was born. And then my aunt had my cousins when she was young. So, and then it was years before my sister was born. And it was like, she could do no wrong. Your mom has worked at you not so much. That's great.
First thing, so I moved out to go to college, an hour away, and then like magically he got a job 3 hours away, and they fucking moved. And my car couldn't leave the town I went to college in, so I was stuck there. They then bought the first big screen TV we ever had after I left.
Hey, I'm pretty sure every TV in this house came from them, with the exception
Now,
of
yes.
the new one.
They also bought like really nice leather furniture and
Because you were
surround
there to
sound
fuck up
equipment.
shit.
And I'm
The
like,
kids were gone.
I didn't fuck shit up. I got none of that. It's bullshit. Fucking
Did something wrong, clearly.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I fucking found you odd. Come pick me up from school because I couldn't leave because my car would overheat.
Yeah. But now they have Josephine.
Fucking welcome. You can have her.
I don't think he wants her.
You can try and have her to have a conversation with you, and you just stare at her. She blankly looks at you. And you go, oh. The other day, it was just something like
Y'all have a 12-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Or have y'all
12-year-old.
entered the same like preteen angst phase? Or is that just a girl thing?
He's always been kind of like withdrawn, I guess, and just kind of like quieter, kept to himself. So you'll talk to him, and it's a lot of the little one-word answers.
Yes.
Like
fucking kids.
Logan discovered foosball this weekend.
What have you been doing to that kid? Doesn't know foosball.
I mean, he may have seen it before, but they had a foosball table in the lodge we were at this weekend, and all the kids were playing it, and he was doing really well. And then one of the dads went over there and was whooping all their asses. He's like, you got to keep them. You got to make sure they have some perspective in their
That's
life. And I was like, that's good. Good job, man.
Well, that's,
I'm a firm believer in you. Don't
I
let
have no
kids
problem
win.
beating my daughter in any game we play, and I will do it over and over again. I remember
She's cutthroat when it comes to certain games.
with her growing up, people always go, I bet she has you wrapped around her finger. Fuck no. I will make her cry at the end of something if she will learn a lesson. She'll fuck
That's
around
what
and find
grandpas
out.
are for.
Yeah.
Not daddy.
But,
That's what grandpas
You
are
say
for.
that. Sam would still beat her in anything too. You gotta learn lessons. Kids gotta learn. But now, like,
But then he's gonna go buy her ice cream afterwards.
I won't fucking buy her ice. And she won't get sprinkles because she's not a winner. I won.
No participation prizes here.
No, throw away all those fucking ribbons.
Not in this
Oh
house.
shit. All right. Anyway,
We derailed so bad.
we never do that. That's so weird. We're normally very on.
Whatever.
Britt, talk more. Yeah, right.
She's talked a lot
She
She has
tonight.
talked a lot.
more than I planned.
So, any future plans? What do y'all have for the business or anything, or is it just like survive, head above water?
Yeah, right now we're just in like survive mode. Eventually, we would love to be able to expand, obviously. But I can't really think of anything. I'm sure we have some, but right now I'm just like, let's get to January.
Yeah.
get past Christmas.
I'm with you.
Yes.
We got some big shows coming up, like we talked about with Fort Worth, and then right after that's Pearland, and then there's NRG in December. So it's another big show for us. So just going to be kind of trying to get ready for those shows and, like you said, survive and move into the next year.
Hmm.
Yep. Start all over again.
But you know, I'm
Do it again.
talking to other guys that do what I do, and they're all struggling.
Oh,
I mean, they're all struggling with materials and struggling with sales, and it's a scary time to own a business right now.
Yes.
Stressful time to own a business. I mean, I had a job interview last week that hopefully I hear something about here pretty quick, because that'll really take a lot of the stress off. It'll make it very hard on me to be working a full-time job and helping Rachel run this business and still going to shows on weekends and whatnot. But financially, it will give us a
Breathing room.
yeah.
Yeah.
Megan said her neighbor came by ReptiCulture this past week and loved it.
Awesome.
I think I'm the only one that hasn't been.
Probably. I've been.
I know.
Robert's
Working
been.
really hard getting it Herps group approved. So hopefully Pearland show weekend we can get some come show it off to
Oh, so we're
everyone.
trashing the place. Awesome.
Aww.
Trash in the store. Got it.
Unfortunately, the dinner that Lori has planned, which we recommended the restaurant, is the complete opposite direction from you guys.
Yeah.
It's down here.
Oh,
Like,
is it?
like right
Yeah,
here.
it's like right over there.
It's not very far at all.
Not too far.
Yeah.
Depends on how far you want to drive.
Yep.
So just me, or is anybody else like ridiculously tired tonight?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
ready.
good. I'm fine.
Oh man, I'm like normally it's a lot closer to 9 before I get tired, so I'm just like, holy moly, I'm
Think-
sleep.
Do we have anything
The
else
day
coming up?
after
I think-
Halloween was rough in 3rd grade.
It was pretty rough.
It was-
Oh, the weather today.
Yeah, it
It
rained all day.
Rained
Big part of it.
all day.
Yeah.
It
was not
rained
pleasant.
all through dismissal. Yeah, it was rough.
And then it's supposed to rain in Lafayette next Saturday or this Saturday.
This Saturday.
When I'm supposed to be at a football game, so it's going to be
Yep.
soggy.
Yep.
So I'm not skipping a football game.
Packing our rain gear. I already bought tickets.
Yep. Sit in the rain and watch
Get your
football.
boots.
Yep.
Unlike baseball, they'll play in the rain.
As long as it's not storming.
All right.
Oh,
I got
my
anything?
goodness.
Got nothing.
I don't.
I've
I
read
haven't listened to any podcasts lately because I don't ever really do that. I'm so bad about that. My sister, hold on, where's my phone? My sister texted me this book today that I'm
Text
gonna
your
have.
whole book?
No,
A lot of text.
It's called "Beware the Burmese Pythons and
Here we go again.
and other invasive animal species," and it's an ebook. So I guess this is one of the, because she manages a library in Louisiana. So I'm guessing maybe this is one of the new ebooks that they can purchase through the library. So I'm gonna have to look into that. It's definitely a kid's book.
So that
He
was
looks evil on the cover though.
snake. So that was the thing with this carpet python.
It's
that
all
was
about
loose.
invasive species.
Well, this
Oh, wow.
carpet python that was loose, everything got thrown back to we're gonna be just like Florida. I'm like, well, you're a fucktard who doesn't understand what happened in Florida.
Nobody, I think
Nobody does.
they just go with you just dumped your pets out. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, first off, it's too cold here. Second off, this python, if no one catches it, it's gonna die.
You know what I
Can't find
really
one.
love about this cover though? I'll
Cat sucks
screenshot.
too.
Well, there's a cat on it.
Yeah, cat suck too.
There's a cat, and I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a nutria.
Yeah, it is.
What is it?
A nutria, which is a
I know what a nutria is.
Oh.
I just
We have
didn't
it
look
here.
when you showed me
oh
earlier.
yeah, and there's a cat on it too. So
But,
I'm like, huh?
But some people argued on that was gonna be like Florida, and then you try to explain. There's one person that argued back and forth with me. I was like, look, what happened? Because they tried to say that it was a bunch of released pets. This is no, it was Hurricane Andrew. It destroyed warehouses, and then they went and found an article, and in the article, it sides with me, and I'm like, yeah, see,
Did you
and
read
like
your article?
she still argued. I'm like, yeah, it's not released. You don't get a giant expanse of animals like that from a few released pets because they'd have to find each other and then breed, and then that's not how that works. You do it by releasing a shit ton at one time, which is what happened.
Yep.
So people are dumb. They don't want to be educated.
So Daphne says, Brittany and Joe, the boys want a shout out from their parents.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't give in.
Give
Hi,
in.
Mason and Luke and Jackson.
How you guys doing?
Kids.
Almost bedtime.
Go to sleep.
I
Go
already
to sleep,
texted mine to tell her, hey, don't forget to take a shower.
please. You smell bad. Yeah, kids, take a shower because I'm sure y'all smell bad too. Because all kids smell bad.
I told
Oh, is
my
that who's
mom.
watching the kids?
Yeah, my
Yep.
mom.
Oh, that's your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen her comment on stuff before. I didn't realize that was your mom.
Yeah, she's like our biggest fan.
That's
Well,
awesome.
Well, that's how it should be.
Kind of stalker.
My mom is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has to
She's
make
been-
sure. And
she's been a good support. We wouldn't be able to get half the stuff done, none of our shows, anything without her. So she's got the boys on lockdown for us while we
Nice.
my mom always likes to comment something about that's my son, or she'll say, "Can you believe that head came out of me?" And I'm like,
That's disturbing.
"Mom, don't. That's like the first thing she says to my friends when she meets them." And I'm like, "Mom,
That's hilarious.
Imagine what that chrome dome did to my vagina.
Oh my god.
Yeah, when we first started doing this, she was terrified of reptiles. If you brought a reptile out in the room, she was like backing away in a corner. And now she breeds leopard geckos.
that's
She
cool."
was holding Caspian, the big Burmese python. We did the ACC, the Alvin
I saw
Community
that,
College
yeah.
Fall Fest. It was a huge success.
Yes.
it was so
massive.
fun.
We almost ended up there and we went to the Pearland Town Center instead.
Let me rewind. 'cause we
We
almost ended up there because Katie doesn't know where Alvin Community College is located.
That is a fact.
And she was like, yeah, it's over in Manville.
Well, they have one in Pearland. They have a campus over there, so that could be
No, she was
I was
Totally.
thinking of JB Hensler
Which is
and not
not in Alvin.
anywhere.
It does say
close.
college on there. It says
I
career
mean-
college prep.
Also, but
Thank you,
it's not
Robert.
in Alvin.
I appreciate it. I
She's
like-
appreciate
She's like, if we go here and it's not that good, we can just go right over to
And
the
then I pulled it
ACC.
up on the map and it was like 45 minutes from where we were. And I
As
was
someone
like,
who teaches in Alvin,
no.
I'm like, that's not here.
It was a good turnout. It was fun. It was like good solid 4 hours of nice steady crowd. So we just took Caspian, our big Burmese, and
The pictures look like you had a good time though.
yeah, it was constant.
We did the lettuce with the tortoise.
Borrowed a tortoise.
Yeah, we brought a tortoise and let him feed him with the lettuce. And it was funny. Towards the end of the night, the tortoise finally stopped eating the lettuce. I'm like, all right, we're gonna have to stop charging people for the lettuce at this point because he's full. I didn't think that was possible.
I say, I don't think my sulcatas have ever been full.
That's that little dog park at that thing that we did.
Perfect.
That was perfect for the tortoises.
Yeah.
Man.
There was a dog that came after we were cleaning up though and was like walking around smelling everything, trying to figure out what had happened to the smells.
What has been shitting
inside.
here all day?
Yeah,
And,
it
at
was
the-
funny.
At the San Diego Wild Animal Park, they told us one time that they make enough money selling lettuce to feed the giraffes to maintain the entire giraffe exhibit for the whole year, like because it's like $10
I
or
would
whatever
not,
for
yeah.
2 pieces of lettuce to go up there and here you go, and they wrap their tongue around it and take it, and that's it. You're like, oh, I fed a giraffe. And yeah, so people like doing that kind of shit.
Joe wants to do it when we go. The next time that we go to
Houston Zoo.
Houston, because
I
you
just-
can feed the
I'm always
giraffe
like,
there.
But it's, I guess she's a kid. She wants to experience. But I think that it's such a waste of time. Like you said, they take it from you and you're done. Like you stand in line. That line is always insanely fucking long.
So where's that safari that we went to? Was that in Tyler, the drive-through safari?
There's one
is that
here.
Caldwell? Is
Apparently.
Caldwell Drive?
So there is one here. I haven't been to the Bayou Wildlife.
Bayou was
yet.
awesome. I haven't been since they reopened.
Yeah,
The one
I
we went
haven't
to
gone-
was. I have to look that up. I don't remember. I know we were coming back from Granbury.
yeah. So it was a
Which is, like,
platform that
kinda
you
near
go
Fort
and
Worth.
so you're like eye level
Yeah.
with the giraffes. But so that was cool. Being that close to even like, the giraffe den for a second was
That's how it is.
Super
At
cool.
Houston Zoo, they have it like that.
okay.
But that line is always like 100 people long.
Oh, this was
To go up there for a second to go, oh shit, now I'm done.
Yeah, we went there right
It
after
was
they
really
had the little
fast.
baby. We got to see the little baby, but but we didn't feed them.
no.
But it's, I don't know, it's a big tongue. It's cool. Like it's big, it's purple, but it's a tongue. All right. What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
Mind your business. It's close to Christmas.
Okay.
All right.
Let's wrap this up. So I'll go home and cry over this. What?
So you can go home.
Hey, it's only the top of the fifth, though, Robert. It's only the top of the fifth.
I know. Hey, Yogi Bear said it the best. It ain't over till it's over.
That's right.
That's right. Anyways, thank y'all for coming over. It was
Absolutely.
fun to have someone
Thank
in
y'all for
studio.
dinner. Thank you for dinner.
You're
Katie. It was
welcome.
delicious.
I hope it was.
It was. We appreciate it.
I
Yeah.
bought eggnog for myself.
Did you already drink the one I bought you?
You bought a single serving size of eggnog.
I don't know.
It was
I don't
one
drink
little
that
thing
shit.
of eggnog.
What?
Yeah.
Gross.
Agreed.
Eggnog amazing.
Can't
No.
side with you here, James.
No.
Y'all are
Sorry.
wong. Eggnog is amazing.
I
My
don't like
favorite
it.
time of the
You're
year.
on your own.
You either, Robert? Nope.
Nah, fuck no. I'm not drinking cold semen
No, see, Robert doesn't care.
or hot semen.
He didn't clarify.
or
But
lukewarm or room temperature or any of it.
See, this is why you'd get along with my dad, not the whole semen thing.
Yeah.
But you don't eat like sauce on any of your sandwiches. Like you don't like sauce.
No. Mm-mm.
My dad, like he fucking hates when they put mayonnaise on like a burger. And like McDonald's, apparently mayonnaise is like super cheap there because they'll dump half a thing of it on every burger, every chicken sandwich you get.
No, man.
Yeah, he hates that. I laugh every time because I love mayonnaise and eggnog. Not mayonnaise and eggnog because that would be weird. Maybe, possibly, it might not be.
You're so gross.
No, I have eggnog. I want my eggnog. All right, so let's wrap this. We will be back next week. I don't know who we'll be back with the next week. Oh,
I won't be here next week.
fuck you, Katie. Just trying to run a podcast here.
I know.
139 episodes.
Sorry. I won't be here for 140.
We at least be here for the 100.
Maybe you could put out
No, we just put out one.
oh, never mind.
Remember we were off last week.
We'll be off Thanksgiving week.
Yes, I will have one for Thanksgiving week. And if you haven't bought a turkey yet, you should probably go do that before they run out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Inflated rates.
Yeah, inflated rates
Bird
and
flu.
bird flu. They killed all those damn
I'd
turkeys.
say I heard that the numbers were
Super low.
not great.
Maybe
And
eat a pig.
we're about to run out of diesel as a country. So things are going to get real interesting.
Yeah.
How do you run out of a waste product?
Well, it's not a waste. It's not refined as a waste product anymore, like
Anymore?
it used to be.
See, that's what they should go back to. is Just make it a waste product, the thing you're already making.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, go buy your turkey or a pig.
Or chicken.
I'm
Or
all
cheaper.
for
I have an entire javelina in my cooler right now.
That's right. You're
Logan got a javelina
Logan's
this
not a
weekend.
javelina. At first I thought, like, is it a peccary? But what a peccary is.
That's a peccary.
Is it a peccary?
Color
Same thing?
peccary, javelina, same
Same
thing.
thing?
Hmm.
Aren't they like not?
Google's pecker.
They're not pig.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
they're
the
a
time.
rodent.
I Google stuff.
They're
all
a
the
rodent?
time.
Hmm.
That's a big ass rodent.
Yeah,
They're the
so it
largest
looks like a
member of the
pig,
rodent
but
family.
it's not a pig.
Or second largest.
Second largest.
Capybara.
Capybara's large. Yeah, yeah.
I knew what a javelina was, but never a peccary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
color peccary. That's their real
See,
name.
I've always called it as a peccary and not a javelina.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thrown off. By
So people call them skunk pigs
It
because
is
they have a
wicked
gland on their
looking.
back and it stinks like skunk. But as long as you get that gland off really quick, and then the meat is it looks like when you get a pork loin, the really white part of a pork loin, all their meat looks like that, and it's really mild flavor. And I'm gonna cook some this weekend. Have you guys come try it?
and we'll make
I
a.
will for
We
sure.
have stuff to make caramel pies.
I can make caramel pie.
Have you ever had
Yeah.
caramel pie, like taking sweet condensed milk and then boiled it in the can, and then
It turns it into
turns it into
like
caramel.
dulce de leche,
Oh, it is so good.
No.
like in
And
the
then you
can
just
with the
pour it
label
in
on.
a
Just
pie.
Yeah,
put
you
it in the
throw it in there and you boil it
No,
for.
it tells you to take the label off first because otherwise the paper label it will dissolve.
Well,
Darren, I have not been hunting
Yeah,
yet.
it's gone. It's not big
I'm-
no,
Yeah.
we're gonna make that happen though.
So
At
dinner
some point.
next week? That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brittany's like, so this is gonna be a weekly thing. We're gonna come hang out.
Hey, come on,
Come on.
Apparently I need a co-host next week.
I'll be here.
I need a co-host like every week because apparently it's a rotating.
Unless both of my shows bomb this weekend, then I'm gonna be home crying. I won't have enough gas to drive from there to here. So
to drive the 2 minutes over.
right,
You
Oh.
get picked up.
I'll send a car for you.
Less than a mile.
yeah, you just send an Uber for me and pay for it.
Come out and see us in Lafayette this weekend. Go see
Robert,
Joe, and Brittany up at the show in Arlington.
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Fort Worth.
That area.
Go check them out if you're in that area. Come see all of us in Pearland next week.
Yes.
Hang out in Pearland, bring everybody, make that show big. And then we'll be back next week with somebody. Thank y'all for coming over. Everybody else, go check out our merch. Also, don't forget if you want to buy a VivTech light bulb or any VivTech products, go use code Gumbo22.
Chris Pratt dressed up as Rip from Yellowstone for Halloween.
Yeah, he's
Never
super
watched
hot in that picture. I'm just gonna say.
Here you go.
Anyways,
It's the facial hair. It doesn't.
go check out VivTech. Also, go check out our merch. Buy some green shoes. We sold one pair. Buy some green shoes with our logo on it, or some leggings, or a shirt, or we'll have a hat coming soon with our new logo. Oh, I know what I want to talk about, and I'm gonna make a post about it.
Every time
No,
we're like,
it
we're
was one-
done.
It was one thing. So I do want to do a signature series of shirts, but I want to put art on them from our listeners. Any of our listeners that are artists, if you have any reptile themed art, I'd like to take that, put it on the back of a shirt. You can sign the art, and that'll all be on there. And then we'll put our new logo on the front, and then we'll sell like a limited run of that. And that's just a way that money can also help us fund all of this, because Katie's getting tired of this coming out of our bank account. But
Just a little bit.
so if you're listening, if you are an
Just
artist
a little bit.
and you have any really cool reptile art that you wouldn't mind sending to us, kind of a donation for us to put on our clothing to sell, and then we will send you a free shirt, obviously with it on there.
With your art on it.
With your
That's
art.
really cool.
So yeah, I want to take
Maybe my zoology club can do something like that. Like I could.
your third graders.
It's 3rd through 5th grade. Thank you very much. And some of them are very talented individuals. I need you not to talk ugly about my
Are you
children.
saying talented in the way that like an elementary school teacher says?
No,
that kids
some of them are
talented?
really good.
Like they didn't drool on it
Hey.
today, so they're talented.
Hey,
Like,
don't be ugly.
They colored us out the lines this time.
I'm fixing to just start pushing buttons on this.
Anyways, if you have anything, please reach out to us and let us know, and we will work with you. Also, anybody looking to sponsor a giveaway, any month you want to sponsor a giveaway, all you got to do is just let us know what you want to give away, and we can make that work too. We like being able to give away stuff. Maybe we'll do a shirt giveaway since we have merchandise.
Let's do it.
We'll do a shirt giveaway. So be on the lookout for all that. So Reptile Gumbo gummies. What kind of gummies?
We're both teachers.
I'm not.
Same.
I don't think I can legally do that in Texas yet, though.
As long as they're Delta 8.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. We had a guy come and talk to our kids today about not doing drugs.
I'm so naive when it comes to this.
And he was
stuff.
like naming all these things and showing all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know what any of that fucking shit is.
no.
You want to hear something funny?
don't.
I have a baseball card from my uncle was the DARE officer in the town I grew up in. And I have a baseball card from the year after I was in DARE. So I would have been in 7th grade that year and he was in 6th. There's 3 kids in the picture with him. One of them's in prison for selling drugs now. One of them is a meth head girl, and the other one's a pretty good dude that I've still talking to. And I'm like, well, for 1 out of 3, that's pretty good. 33%.
Hey,
Yeah,
in
every time
baseball,
we see-
1 out of 3 is
Hey,
fucking amazing. So.
You bet 333, you go to the Hall of Fame
Every
over your
time-
lifetime. So
Yeah, every time that I see stuff for people, I'm like, I don't know what y'all are talking about.
mhm.
I really don't, and it's.
I'm just afraid the one
I
time
don't
do it,
consider
I get
myself
tested.
to be a very naive individual or very like closed-minded or closeted, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, yeah, I got nothing.
Everything's changing, like coming out new things. Same with like the reptile industry, like
Mhm.
bioactive was
Yeah.
a thing not long ago, and racks are, it's all coming out.
Racks are
new stuff.
horrible. You only keep those if you hate the animals and you're in it for the money.
Oh my
That's right.
lord!
So
Yeah.
you can hoard
Yeah,
them.
my comment on your post yesterday was kind of directed at the person that was like, make that money.
Yeah.
So I like him, but that was a stupid comment.
Yeah,
What
I
was-
don't agree.
What was it? Can we know?
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
talk about
okay.
it later.
All right. Good night, to everybody.
Call people out.
See y'all. See y'all next week. Thanks for coming, and peace.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
He said, hold on.
Wave to all the people.